Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing well and I hope you are all excited for this hosiery review. I am. It's a brand that I love, one of my favourite hosiery brands in the top 3, and it's probably because their designs are quite unique, super feminine and generally really well made. Although sometimes their sizing is a little bit for me, the technical term, but it's going to be Fiore today that I'm going to be reviewing, and these are the Candy Crush patterned tights. Now I'm going to assume they're named after the game Candy Crush, which people are either familiar with, played, became obsessed with, or didn't. I don't think I played it at all, so I'm not really sure how accurately depicted as a pattern these tights are, but I'm sure somebody in the comments will let me know whether it gives them the Candy Crush vibes. But Candy Crush pattern tights, they are 30 denier, they're in the colour black, and I have them in a 4, which I believe is probably a large or an extra large, so I'm going to have to just sort of double check that. Currently I think they are coming out of season, out of sort of production sort of. The Tight Spot have them on their website still, and they are reduced. They are £4.95 rather than £10.95, with slightly more limited sizing available. So if you do like them and you'd like that cheeky 10% off with my discount code, which will be in the description, then go for it, go take a look. You'll still get the 10% off the discount as well that they already put on. But getting back to the tights, what I like about Fiore is it's generally quite simple packaging. You can see the design, whether or not you agree with how much you can see the design, it is there. And then we'll take a little look on the back here. We do have a little window, which is meant to be a little preview window, but actually, quite frankly, it just shows black texture really. There's like a very faint line, but you can't really actually tell the detail or the design on those at all, quite frankly. So simple, I like simple, clean. Let's have a little look and see what it says. It just says pattern tights on it. I believe these may have a gusset. It doesn't specifically say, but we do have here 2 little pictures. 2, which would be probably the size small, is showing as not particularly having anything. 3 and 4, which would be the size that I'm in, does look like it maybe has a gusset, so we shall see. And potentially these don't have any form of a reinforcement either, because I can't really see any detail there. So these do go from a size 1 to 6, that's an extra small, all the way up to a extra large, so that is a really good size range, I think. And interestingly, whilst I do see an XL and XXL, I don't always see an extra small in tights actually, so that's I quite like that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a 4, which is a large here. Hand wash at 30. And that's pretty much it. As you know, you can't really, put tights in the tumble dryer, etc. They're 88% polyamide and 12% elastine, so they've got a really good amount of stretch to them, which is what I like. So let's see what they look like. The usual recyclable packaging and the plastic wrap with the cardboard. Okay, interesting. They've already got a really they're quite shiny. Let's get them wrapped off here and have a little look, shall we? Okay, Oh, they're very soft. Oh, we like that. So let's do what I usually do, and we'll start at the top, shall we? So first thing off the bat that I'm super happy with is we have waist to toe pattern, so that's great. A nice, actually it's not super duper thick, but it's a really nice reasonable waistband that looks fairly even, to be fair, in terms of sort of straight at the top and the join. It's got a real nice sort of tension to it, which is great. And then let's see, shall we? Oh, so these are, I mean, they're a 30 denier, so they're actually, yeah, quite sheer. Ooh, these look really nice, actually. They're very, very difficult to show you, actually. Maybe if I just try popping them over this. There we go, that might help a little bit. So you can already see that sort of pattern there. It's actually a really thick pattern, if that makes sense. A thick pattern, but a very sheer tight. So yeah, we like that. Now let's have a little look and see. Yes, so these do have a gusset, as you can see there. And I'm just going to have a look at the inside of that and see how that's sort of been put together. Yeah, so it's quite a large gusset area, and it's been, to be honest, sewn really beautifully. There's no issues with that at all. Really quite nice. And actually having a little look at the seam here, this is all sewn really beautifully, and it's actually a really flat seam as well. This is one of the things I like about Fiore. They're a Polish hosiery brand, and I've found in my experience that Polish hosiery brands do tend to manufacture smaller. I should imagine that that's probably because of their own sizing preference. And that is usually my bugbear with Fiore, but I've never had an issue with their manufacturing. It's always been super high quality, so that's kind of why I let them off a little bit. That and the designs are beautiful. So as it says, there's no reinforcement on the foot area at all, which I don't necessarily think is needed, because although they're only a 30 denier, they are patterned, so it does give them a bit more rigidity to it, and they do actually feel very very secure for a 30 denier. But again, it's that kind of the weave and the design on them. So they're not a fishnet, but they're more holey than they are solid. So they're going to give that kind of illusion of sheer tights with a pattern, but also they are going to be slightly fishnetted. So yeah, I think these are gorgeous right off the bat. I'm going to be interested to see how much shine they have, because they do have a lot of sort of shine generally, but obviously when they're stretched out it's a bit different. So £10.95 full price, £4.95 at the moment. I'm going to get these on and we're going to see if they are worth both of the prices. Okay, so as you can see, I have the tights on, and they are super duper nice. Really, really nice. They weren't especially difficult to get on. They are a little bit tighter around the thigh at the top. Like I said, I find Fiore comes up small on my sort of shape. I do have like a larger thighs and a larger bum, sort of a size 12 on the bottom. So sometimes things fit perfectly here and then not so much up here. I probably would have got these in an extra large just to give me that extra bit of less stretch on the top here, but they are really beautiful. They're so soft to wear and to touch. And let me just start with showing you the foot. So super lovely on here, really lovely pattern. As you can see, it's not really any sort of effect without the reinforcement. Totally fine. Fits on the foot really nicely as well because of the elastine. Fits nicely around the ankle and around the sole arch as well. So I think they look really lovely and elegant on the feet. They fit really nicely and they feel really comfy. So yeah, we like the beat, all good. And as you can see, the pattern, in actual fact, all the way up, even though the pattern is a bit more stretched towards my thigh, it's still incredibly sort of uniform. It's obviously slightly twisted, the way I've put it on. It probably needs to be a little bit straighter, but you know. So let's have a little look at them a bit more full length. I don't know, I think they're really, really nice because they are vertical lines rather than horizontal. They give you that illusion of having a longer leg as well, so they're really nice for that kind of look. And they do actually, now I'm standing in a little bit of light, they do actually have a bit of a shimmer to them, I think, like a bit of a glossy sort of shimmery catching. I think that's really nice touch actually. You don't often get that with black patterned tights, to be honest. So I really, really like that. And yeah, in terms of, as I say, further up the leg, there is definitely a little bit more of a stretch in the pattern on my thighs. But again, that's totally fine. We're not really wearing anything that short most of the time. So it's fine, sort of just above the knee. The pattern still looks really nice actually, I think. But yeah, they're super duper soft. They're incredibly well made. The waistband at the top is quite sturdy, quite fixed. Don't feel like it's cutting in though, which is great. Seam, everything sort of went on perfectly there. I didn't have any sort of issues with anything twisting or needing to pull anything round or in shape or anything like that. So that's great. I think they're really lovely. I think they're quite versatile as well. I've sort of paired them to look a bit more formal, a little bit smarter. I think you could make these a bit more casual just because of the pattern of them. I think you could pair them with something, yeah, like a little skirt, maybe even some like flat shoes, that kind of thing. But you could wear them out, and I think if you've got an office that isn't super duper strict, then you could easily wear these for kind of work as well. So they've got a lot of utility to them. Yeah, I really like them. For $4.95 currently, I think they're an absolute steal. They're fashion tights, and as we know, fashion tights are usually a little bit more expensive. But on the side of the manufacturing quality of them, $4.95 is an absolute steal. $10.95 if you happen to pick them up from anywhere else other than the tight spot, I still think is worth it as well. $10.95, I think you're getting all the elements of quality there for your money, and I think these have actually got really good lasting power to go through a few washes. I feel like these are the kind of tights that sort of last you 6 months to a year with a really good amount of more continuous wear rather than just every now and again. So yeah, I think these are super gorgeous. I would recommend sizing up, and possibly, depending on what your shape is like, if you're sort of like me, shorter and curvier even, that more so than myself, maybe size up twice if you have the option, just because Fiore does run a little bit smaller. But yeah, these are gorgeous. Quality is lovely, manufacturing is lovely, sizing needs a little bit of work. But yeah, for $4.95 from the tight spot, they are a big thumbs up. I'm actually going to give these a 9.5. I'm only going to do that because I still think it's really important that things fit you how you want them to. So it's 9.5 just because of the fit for me. And you know how fussy I am. But yeah, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Are they the kind of tights that you feel would be suitable for work? Are these the kind of tights that you would buy? And let me know if you have any of your own experience with Fiore in terms of sizing and what you think of the brand. And yeah, that's going to be it from me today. And I'll see you soon for another review very, very soon.